Hello everyone, my name is Michelle, and today I am going to be talking about one of my favorite YouTube narcissists, which is Myka Stauffer. The reason for this is because, in a nutshell, the community sees it as though Myka is literally adopted this kid for attention, sympathy, and like, oh, she's such a strong mother for adopting this child. And then she realized that this child was a lot of hard work because he was on the spectrum, and so she gave him away. Which is definitely the best idea. However, leading up to this, there were many people who were talking about how it's a bad idea, and Myka did not listen. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe. Oop, jackrabbit over there. There's a bunch of jackrabbits out. It's also like super cold out, but then it's the fucking desert, so it gets super hot out in like 2 seconds. Turn on the notifications and comment below where I should move in the United States, because we are literally looking for anywhere to move. Literally anywhere. But we are looking for very cheap rent, and so there goes my dream of moving to Oregon, Washington State, and most importantly Colorado. Sad face emoji. So let me know. Also, I found my first scorpion in the sink. Trigger warning. I will give you a trigger warning this time. I know I'm horrible with bug trigger warnings, like with the tarantula. So 3, 2, 1. I was like washing the dishes in the morning, and I was like, oh, let me just put up my iPad because I have to be doing 5 things at once. So I put my iPad up, and then I reached over the sink, and there was a fucking scorpion like in the sink, and I was like, oh, there's the sponge, there's the scorpion, and I was like, wait, there's the scorpion. Additionally, you're not going to care about this as much, but I did get my bachelor's degree in social work, so now I get to say at the beginning of my videos that my criteria is simply a BSW, which is still not a doctor or anywhere close to a therapist. I think I can therapize on MD Live. I mean, it would be horrible because like my sister went on there to see a trauma therapist, and they were like, I mean, so uninformed because you don't have that extra. I could never be a trauma therapist because I don't have the skills from college. My fucking laptop probably broke. I spilled like tea on it, and I didn't even realize that there was like tea on it, so I was cleaning up the glass from the broken glass, and then I like did this. I like tilted it to the side, and all this like tea was pouring out, and my brother-in-law, like, we're in fucking Arizona, like, I was literally like, guys, we should not even dry our laundry, because all we have to do is put it outside for like 20 minutes and it will be dry as a bone. And he was like, no, because the electronics will like burn. It's still not working. And I'm like low-key keeping a grudge, but I know it's my mental illness, so I'm like I'm trying to keep it cool. So you may or may not know that I am very interested in abnormal psychology and the mindset of a narcissist. So when Myka first decided to try to get a child, well, Myka wanted to adopt a child right away. And it's really hard to do in America, but they'll do it in China only if the child has special needs. So Myka said that she wanted a child who looks like they have a scary and difficult disease, but they actually have this, or not disease, like any sort of disability, how like cancer, brain tumor, autism, etc., neurodivergent, if you will. Something that's really interesting about Myka's behavior is that it's extremely exaggerated. One of my theories about why this is because a narcissist doesn't know how to feel feelings, so they're acting as much as possible, and so Myka overcompensates a lot. She thinks that a normal parent would be unafraid of having a child who you thought had a brain tumor, and now he has a lifelong diagnosis of autism, needs care for the rest of his life. And she was in the video like, that's fine, like, we're really excited about that. And it's like, it seems a bit off because it's like, how can you be excited? It's not excitement, it's more like validation about what's going on. Like, excitement is a word.
But immediately when she gave me another diagnosis, I looked at the bright side. I was like, you know, that could be awesome. There could be so many good things about that second diagnosis.
Since she's apparently very entitled, she's trying to come off as someone who's really humble. So something that is super ironic that actually happened in the adoption case is that Myka actually made a literal video where she said that the nurse and doctors warned her that this might be a more difficult case than she was expecting, and people who were thinking about adopting him kind of dropped out because they didn't have the skills to handle it. And narcissists have a thing kind of called magical thinking, where they hope that their mindset will literally change the problem. However, in their adoption apology video, where they admitted that they did give away the child, I guess I can call him Huxley because that's not his name anymore, that was his pet name for them.
But her prognosis and everything for our son just went drastic. She kind of almost discouraged us from adopting him, like saying that this is going to be severe, this is going to be a lot, you know, we don't know what unknown elements could be. So when I heard all of the things that that doctor was telling us, it kind of went in one ear and out the other.
You know, with international adoption, sometimes there's unknowns and things that are not transparent on files and things like that. And once Huxley came home, there was a lot more special needs that we weren't aware of and that we were not told.
But she was just really trying to inform us, like, these are all of the realm of possibilities, and this is what I'm really thinking you're looking at, or this is what I'm really thinking that he could have, some severe delays, and so on and so forth. And we asked for a couple more videos from the foster mama that is taking care of our little boy right now, and she provided them. He's our son, and that's that. He's not we aren't going to trade him in, we're not going to return him. He's our boy. But regardless, he's still our boy. And that was a little scary at first, but at the same, because she had really freaked us out, some of the verbiage that she used and some of the things that she said. I wasn't in a state of denial. I accepted and took on everything that she said. And I sat down with Jim. I said, you know, worst case situation, if our little boy at one point in his life, he needed to be in a wheelchair and he needed full-on care, would you still love him? And we, without a doubt in our minds, we knew, no matter what state he came to us, that we would love him. But for me, more than anything, I go from one diagnosis to a totally different diagnosis. So I wanted to tell you that because it was like something that was really shocking, and like it was really weird because we went from one diagnosis to a totally polar different diagnosis, and it really wasn't expected. But that doesn't mean that it's bad. The level of unconditional love that we're starting to develop for this little boy is just unbelievable, and I love that because for us, this new diagnosis didn't scare us. She had really freaked us out, some of the verbiage that she used and some of the things that she said, and I love that because for us, this new diagnosis didn't scare us. If anything, it kind of solidified that this is more our son than he has ever been, and we don't care what's wrong with him. The only need that our little boy has is he needs his mama not to be scared, but needs his mama to come on and get him home so that he can have a nice family that really, truly cares about him and is not scared of what an MRI or a CT scan says. And that's one thing that I'm starting to love about this process is the level of becoming more humble, and the level of unconditional love that we're starting to develop for this little boy is just unbelievable. And if anything, my child is not returnable.
But it's incredibly sad because they made a bunch of videos about going on vacation, having a good time, cleaning out my super big closet, fixing cars, when they literally just gave away this child. And they were like, well, yeah, we might be acting like we're okay, but it's like, either they really are okay, which I have that theory because their other children seemed to be unfortunately sad because a child with autism often needs to be not often, but in cases of lower functioning autism, and this lady already has 4 kids, 5 on the way. Seeing the things that she made in the video, like she does this thing where she's like, Huxley's having another temper tantrum. If you don't see him in the vlogs, it's because he needs to get over himself. And it's like, she's saying that he's manipulating her because she knows that if he cries, then he will get attention. Which is, yeah, that's what babies want. And also this child had a bunch of adoption trauma, what is it called? Because of literally moving countries. He had no idea about this new language, this new family, and it's just traumatic for a child. So she decided to throw him in a school in which he spent 7 hours a day as a 3-year-old trying to learn sign language because he couldn't communicate verbally. And people have differing opinions about that. Some people say that it's a good idea because, you know, it'll help the child in the long run, but other people think it's immoral because you're forcing a 3-year-old to sit and learn this. Back to their apology video. They said that there was a lot of things that the adoption agents didn't tell them, and that's not true. They talked about it in other videos about how she has this magical thinking.
So we went off and we sent all of his file information to a physician, and we got his response back in 12 hours. He really was point blank with it. He said, you know, I'm not seeing any red flags with this kiddo. He said, however, you could be dealing with something much more significant and much more serious, but I don't believe that to be the case. He did tell me all of the what ifs, all of the scare bears, if you will. Like, these are all the scary potential possibilities. And, you know, it was hard to hear the words when he laid out the specific words of the scary possibilities. Almost every person that I had talked to about it, and I shared it with very, very few people, his diagnosis, and the, you know, let's say the 5 people that weren't family members that I shared it with, they had all known somebody with that condition, or they themselves had had that condition. And it was just, it gave me goosebumps. It was like God was saying, quit worrying, you've got this, you've got this. It just, don't worry, put the worry on my back, I've got this.
So if you didn't know, the way a narcissist sometimes becomes a narcissist is that they will be extremely cut off from any power. A narcissist becomes a narcissist because they had to cut out their vulnerable feelings, because at some point they were traumatized to a point where they felt completely powerless. However, when a narcissist puts a mask on, it's fine because they will never have to feel that feeling again. However, like I said in my other narcissist video, when a narcissist becomes what they are, it's often because it's a survival mechanism and they have to remove their heart literally to survive. And in removing it, you don't have to feel feelings, but you also can't feel joy. You have to have this competition, jealousy, envy. Huxley was literally born with brain damage, and Myka was in denial of this. She thought that she could do it because she had so much willpower, which isn't true, obviously. You can't manifest something with your mindset.
So, the next morning, me and my husband called our social worker and we said we want to lock in his file. And she was really surprised that we were able to make that confident decision like right away. When she first sent me the file, she goes, you know, if you're interested in another little kid or a kiddo with something different, or, you know, if you want to wait to go LID, I got a video of him and we just like melted. When we saw his video, it was like, done. There's just such a done deal in our hearts and our souls, and we felt that connection just got stronger and stronger.
A theory about why Myka decided to adopt a child in the first place was she had a need for people to think well of her. So if she were to go through the adoption and saying like, well, other people didn't, but I'm so strong, I did, then I'm a really good person. She also perhaps wanted to be a heroine. She wanted to save him. He wanted to turn him around, turn him into this high-functioning autism spectrum or whatever it is that she wanted to do, and people would praise her for that, which is a way of getting these narcissistic supply, because people are complimenting you in the comment section, like always saying how selfless you are. It's kind of like a drug to the narcissist. They just need. They need attention. She's getting it from this.
And I know it sounds silly, but when you adopt and you miss out on something that's actually really important, it helps a ton. If you're not familiar with Dreft detergent, Dreft actually recently did a survey that said 8 out of 10 parents feel more bonded with their baby just by using Dreft. Dreft is well known for their iconic scent that indescribably resembles babyhood. It literally just smells like a newborn baby when you wash the clothes, and it's just been nice. Another thing that's really good is it's super soft and gentle on baby's skin. I know some parents worry about scented products and if they'll be good for their baby's skin. Dreft is hypoallergenic, and it's also the #1 pediatrician recommended baby detergent. One of the best feelings in the entire world is when your new adopted son falls asleep in your lap for the first time and he smells like a newborn baby.
She actually made a video where she actually describes how she would never return a child. She said he is not returnable. And what I say to that is, who would ever think that? Why would you even need to say that? A reason that she likely did was because Myka talks a lot in this video about being scared. I mean, it's a really scary thing as any parent in the world to think your child has one thing and then they have another at such an early age or at any age. So she expresses fear. She says, I'm scared. It was a scary situation. When they went to one specific place to get him tested and gave the results to Myka, they said that there could be some real issues going on here. And she keeps talking about how scary it is and how to get this new diagnosis. And then she says, but it's actually not scary, because she says it doesn't mean that it's bad, but she's expressing that it's bad throughout the video through expressing the shock and the horror that she heard. I think that she's definitely wearing her mask and not showing how she feels. She talked about how the second diagnosis could be awesome, and it's like, because it's serious, and she was overcompensating. She may have actually been thinking that this is scary or off-putting because I wanted a child who could have a brain tumor and we could help him and then it would be fixed, everything's better. Or he would pass away from the brain tumor and I would also get my narcissistic supply through that. But getting the idea that he's going to be with you for the rest of your life is scary. So I don't know, excited is not a great word for a life-threatening diagnosis. So like I said earlier, she's probably wearing her narcissistic mask saying, I don't know how a normal person would go about this, but I think that they would be excited about it. So she's really overcompensating because she doesn't really understand how a normal person would respond to it. And then she looks down to the left, and which is a sign of lying. I know everyone's like, that's stupid. It's like only 70% chance, but then other people are saying like it's literally not even a thing. Like it's a pseudoscience to read nonverbal cues. But she said this isn't scary, and it's like 5 minutes ago you said it was scary. So she's apparently having this fairy tale in her head, trying to portray it to the audience about how perfect her family is.
Show me poop. Show me your sign for poop.
Okay.
Okay, show me walk.
Yeah.
Walk.
Yeah.
Show me flower. Good job. Show me okay. Show me okay.
Okay.
Okay. Show me mom.
Mama.
You said it! Good job. Show me dad. Show me dad. You're such a crazy. Dada. Show me hot. Whoa, you were so good at that. Hi, Jacob. We're doing therapy. The most silliest child you will ever meet in your entire life is Huxley. Hi, did you have fun at school?
Now I almost know all my friends' names.
Phone.
Yeah.
Close. Phone. 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 Is that silly? How can I get anything done with you? You did a good job. Do you want a kiss?
Yep.
He likes to trick me. He doesn't actually like to give me a kiss. He likes to play a game where he pretends like he's giving me kisses. Are you like paying attention? Are you like paying attention? Oh my gosh, I can't handle you. Give me a kiss. He won't actually give me one. He thinks it's so funny. He just wants me to chase him. That's why his favorite game to play is where we pretend like we're monsters and we chase each other.
Again, I think
That we're working on for self-care skills is how to take our pants off. Just being able to have that skill set so that we can eventually start potty training. So that's kind of important. And then some basic commands to follow and work through. When he was doing ABA, they would say smile and he would go, they would say smile and he would copy smiling with his fingers. So we're trying to rework on learning that without the smile. Do you know what I mean? Like, and so that when I say smile, he goes, smile. You know what I mean? And we obviously don't want him to just do that. We want him to be able to like actually do it. And he thinks when you smile that you have to put your hand up like this. So I'm going to work on a couple things with him. Just take honestly like 40 minutes of one-on-one me and Huxley time. And then we'll also go through a couple receptive flashcards just to kind of see, work on learning different things and seeing what we know. And this will help him quite a bit. So that is what I'm going to do for the next 40 minutes. Say hi, guys. Huxley and I are going to run through a couple signs. Quiet hands. Oh, good job, Huxley. We're going to run through all of his signs really quick just to make sure he knows them. Down packed before we teach anything new. Show me help.
Yeah.
Good job. Show me more.
Yeah.
Show me eat. Oh, you did good job. Oh, show me bubbles.
Papa.
Yeah, good talking. Show me ball.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, ball. You have to slow down. Sit on your butt. You were trying to give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. No? Okay.
That's a huge pressure to have a child who is unable to do a lot of things because of his diagnosis, which is fine. He's not a Pokemon that the more signs he knows, the better he is. It's very odd how she goes about it, I feel.
Ooh, Bearstein Bear, those are classics. What'd you get, Jay?
Toy Story 4.
Ooh, and what about you? Dork Diaries. Did you get one of the book for Huxley too?
Both the boys got one this month.
She also talks about how she was expecting him to be a lot more scared and quiet and cuddly, and she was, in my opinion, really struggling to admit that she was really not happy with that. She said that it took her time to adjust to the child that she really had versus the imaginary one that she had when she was looking at pictures of him.
For me, I was doing an international adoption. For the entire year, you start, oh, he's going to be like this. The videos are a lot like this. He's going to be kind of shy like this, or he's going to, you start thinking about these different things. You start to think, oh my gosh, he's going to be like this. He's going to be really shy and cuddly, and or whatever you say in your head, because you've seen some of those things demonstrated on the videos. But when you meet your child is a totally different child. I imagined Huxley to be this like shy, sweet little, I don't know how to explain it, but I just imagine this like shy little guy who just wants to be held and cuddled. And that is the furthest thing from the truth. He does like cuddles, but my little guy is not shy. There's not a shy bone in his body. He is the most wildest child ever. It took a little while to get adjusted from who I thought I was going to meet that day versus who my son actually is, because for an entire year I had planted this little seed in my mind and it had started growing.
And while she's saying this thing, she's literally speaking through gritted teeth, which is so crazy. Myka also talks about how, and this is something that narcissists do a lot, and I love it because it's so duh, but like you wouldn't know because it's sometimes hard to track a narcissist, especially at first if you don't know a person like on the internet. I mean, narcissistic personality disorder is scarily common. I think it's 5 out of 100 people you need to be aware of when entering any sort of relationship, because it's something that could be difficult for you.
It wasn't like, I'm only going to adopt you because you fit the mold like this, or this is who I perceive you to be. No. And when it comes to perception, it's not like I perceived you to be this saint or this. And to be honest with you, I have probably seen over 400 kids' profiles. Not their files, not the reviews, not the referral, just their little profiles on these sites. And they were all so incredible, and I was so empathetic and so compassionate for each and every one of these children. However, none of these kiddos spoke to me, or that may sound bad, but they didn't grab me. Like I said, I was empathetic for all of them, and I would adopt all of them because I love children so much. And then I came across this one little guy's picture, and his picture spoke to me so much. Like, it gives me chills just thinking about his little. So I called up the agency and I asked the social worker, I said, is this little guy's file taken, or is he locked up? And she was talking to me on the phone, and she said, actually, he's not locked up yet. After she kind of told me on the phone, I said a prayer to the Lord, and I said, please, Lord, if you have any time, could you please give me a sign? I am so drawn to this little boy, and I feel a calling to him. Could you please give me a sign? And I open up his file, and the sign is there. It is loud and clear, and it is the first thing in his file. I just want to say thank you. That really got me through some really hard times, and I just want to say thanks. You have no idea what that means to me, and some of the special messages that you sent. Just thank you. Thank you for the book cover.
I can't say enough how hard Myka has tried throughout this entire journey, and the amount of effort she's put into this and helping Huxley as much as she can. So, you guys have been part of this adoption journey even before we picked up Huxley throughout the whole process. And, with international adoption, sometimes there's unknowns and things that are not transparent on files and things like that. And once Huxley came home, there was a lot more special needs that we weren't aware of and that we were not told. So over the past few years, Huxley's been in numerous therapies to try to help him with all of his needs. And over the last year has been a more intense therapy that he's been in to try to help him as much as possible with his severe needs. And for us, it's been really hard hearing from the medical professionals a lot of their feedback and things that have been upsetting, really upsetting for us, because this is not what we've ever wanted to hear. We've never wanted to be in this position, and we've been trying to get his needs met and help him as much as possible. It's really hard to we truly love him. There's not an ounce of our body that doesn't love Huxley with all of our being. There wasn't a minute that I didn't try our hardest. And I think what Jim's trying to say is that after multiple assessments, after multiple evaluations, numerous medical professionals have felt that he needed a different fit and that his medical needs, he needed more. We haven't made this video yet. It's because we've been trying to protect his privacy, his rights, and also just try to not mess up his future that was laid out in front of us. We're trying our best to make sure we don't impact that at all by making this video. And that's why, on Instagram and stuff, I've tried to, let you know as little as I could, but I couldn't tell you anymore because I didn't want to mess anything up with what's going on legally. And if I said something, was it going to mess up things for his future? And it's just been a really hard place to be in, because you're grieving. I want to share with you guys. I know deep down inside that I don't have to say anything. I don't have to say this. I don't have to, but I want to. I want to tell you
hard. Like, do I feel like a failure as a mom? Like, 500%. So when you get like insidious, hurtful comments, it just like really makes it hurt worse. It's not about me at all, but it's just like this journey has been, the last couple months have been like the hardest thing I could have ever imagined choosing to do, because ultimately, after pouring our guts and our heart into this little boy.
The reason why we can't go into detail of what actually transpired is because we're truly going to protect Huxley's privacy and not let people know what happened, what everything that went on
To make us make
this
this decision, or to even come to medical professionals with the need to get more help. Anything that happened in the home that was hard for Hux, that's not fair for me to put out there publicly. That's his privacy. So we're not going to talk about that. That's not appropriate. Like, and that'll never be appropriate. I didn't adopt a little boy to share these things publicly. Every now and then you may have gotten like a teeny like struggle or like a hardship when I was trying to be like really raw and real, but we haven't intentionally, like day one, intentionally, 95% of the struggles we have never publicly aired, ever, with pure intent of respecting his privacy, not to give you a fake facade or to be lack of transparency, but to respect our son's privacy. And this is all that we're okay with sharing. The reason we haven't updated you sooner is because the medical professionals, the agencies, multiple people have been allowing for Huxley to spend time with some different people to see and to make the perfect match and fit for his now new forever family. From the updates we've gotten from the agency and through the adoption agency, like they were able to place him in what they felt was literally the perfect match. When we met, like Jimmy said earlier, when we got Hux, we didn't know a lot of these unknowns. And when agencies or adoption agencies have more pieces to the pie, or they have more pieces, it makes the matching process a little better, or a healthier match. And they found somebody that they felt would be ultimately the best fit, and he is thriving. He is very happy. He's doing really well, and his new mommy has medical professional training, and it is a very good fit.
And I ask everyone that watches this video, that supports our family, give us grace, give us the support and the privacy that we need during this time for ourselves and for Huxley.
Please just respect his privacy and just know that we may come on socials, like for my channel, the reason I started my channel was to be positive and to bring people positivity, even though we're struggling, and that when we talk about Hux, it's a huge win for us. Just because I may be positive on my stories or be having fun, doing something fun, doesn't mean that I'm not still horribly hurting, and the same for Jim. So just please have grace with us, because even though we don't share that publicly, we are still struggling. I mean, we're going to be heartbroken for a very long time. So thank you for everything, and we just really appreciate all of your support and kindness.
A lot of these things in this video are probably not true. I don't know Myka's story. I wasn't there. However, these are some of the theories that are floating around. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, jackrabbit over there, turn on the notifications, and comment below where I should move in the United States, because we are literally looking for anywhere to move. Literally anywhere. Thank you so much for watching this video, and goodbye.